What's going on? Today is Thursday, January 25th, 2024, and we are back once again to discuss the Challenge 39, episode 15. And we've officially moved from chaos to conquest. A lot of things have been changing in the game, and I'm very excited to get the opinions from both of you on everything that's been going on. So let's not waste any time and let's kick this sucker off. All right. My name is John Duffy Judea, of course, standing my Queen Mariah. And as always, I'm joined by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty Young, standing Kyland. And of course, Ms. Gina Morgino Kaiser, standing Olivia. And we're here. We're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on all the socials. Throw us a like, a comment, a subscription. Find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, even if that's not where you usually listen to us, and leave us a nice review. It's very helpful, and we would very much appreciate it. All right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Boop. All right, let's get into this. So, I feel like, God, this freaking show. What do we think of the changes? First off, like, just we go from individual, from having constant team challenges to now individual challenges. The way that the voting is happening for nominations, we've gone from like an actual vote to kind of more like a chain of safety type elimination, process of nominating. Do you like these new changes so far?
Oh, Kyle seems uncertain.
I am uncertain because I don't think that this was the right group of people to kind of kick off a change like this. I didn't like the way that this turned out. I think what this has done is exposed the idiocy and naivete of Ed. I think Ed is a flying idiot. Doesn't see what's coming, not looking forward, doesn't understand how this game is working. So you're not really the first person that should be kicking this off. So, I mean, in theory, I like this, this backwards kind of safety chain kind of a thing. But like, otherwise, like, ugh.
I like
the
it
way
because
this played out was garbage.
If for no other reason, now instead of people just like hiding behind whatever the alliance wants to vote for, they don't have because I feel like with all of these like group votes, it's always been like you wait for whatever the first person in your alliance does, and then everyone just follows suit whether they want to or not. And like every so often you get a couple of rogue votes, but like this I feel like gives the opportunity to show cards a little bit more and just vote with the herd a little bit less.
Yes. It forces a different conversation for sure. It's just it's tricky to upset if there's a dominating majority. It kind of does not help that to be turned around. I feel like if you have like secret votes and things like that, or maybe votes that are locked in even before you get to a conversation or anything like that, like we do in the traders, like that kind of does force some ambiguity around certain things. But doing it this way, it's like, are you really showing cards? Or are you just showing the same cards that you always expect to show? Like, unless you force someone like a Nerys into a situation like she was in, like,
Yeah.
Did this serve us properly? Or maybe it's too soon for this. Would this have been more fun maybe earlier in the game before things were so settled? Because there's such clear divides in this house. It's almost like maybe this twist is just too late.
It feels like this would have been more fun, like when chaos started, like this kind of voting and stuff like that. Like, I feel like Conquest so far feels a lot more chaotic than chaos did to me. But I don't know. And it is really, it's really frustrating watching Ed and Colleen lately. Like we literally just saw Jay choose Emmanuel over Ed at the last nomination, and Jay is still dead set on working with Jay and Michelle. Starts this whole thing off even after Nerys and Zara tried to get him to kind of like rethink his vote and stuff like that, and like how he wanted to play the game. And because it feels like the Jay and Michelle alliance is still so dominant. But I feel like if you took a couple people like Ed and Colleen, you could really even this thing out more. Like they showed these graphics during the episode. Like they called it Mariah's alliance here, but we know it's really Jay and Michelle. And you take, Ed and Colleen out of there and you put them onto Kylan's alliance that they showed here. For some reason, Kylan isn't pictured in his photo, even though Mariah's pictured in her alliance.
Yeah, right? They want to make it look like Kylan's alliance is not as strong, doesn't have as many faces, but like
right.
It's disrespectful.
But if you so there's really 6 people, even though they're only showing 5 there in Kylan's alliance, and there's 9, I think, in the Jay and Michelle one. And if you took Colleen and Ed off, all of a sudden the majority flips, and it's like for some reason Ed and Colleen are so scared of going against Jay and Michelle. Like,
what's so frustrating about Ed too is like I feel like we saw in his last season that his big thing was loyalty. Like I remember like he was loyal to a fault to the point where that was the thing that got him kicked out of the game. And I remember us talking about, I think it was Kyle was the one who said it, like it could be good that Ed is playing the long game and seeing that like these decisions that you make to keep, like to have somebody's back, even if it is to your detriment, can set you up in future seasons and like that kind of thing. But like, he doesn't have the foresight to see that his own numbers aren't loyal to him. So it doesn't matter if you're loyal to them. They've already burned you.
Right.
Like
he's gotten like a unique opportunity too, where it's like a lot of times when you're in an alliance, like you don't realize that you're the bottom until it's too late. And I feel like he was shown that like, this alliance has gotten him as far as it has. He probably didn't start at the bottom, but clearly Jay is now voting for you to go into elimination. You are now at the bottom. You got to, you were shown that, and you had a chance for a do-over where you didn't have to be put in danger. And you're still now just working with the side that's saying it's now your time at the bottom. You started in the middle, but everyone else is gone, so you are now the bottom, and he won't change up his game. I don't get it.
Yeah, and we're not just going along with it. Like we're also like really proud to be with it. Like even they were having that conversation, like, oh, this is like Jay was telling him that this is going to force Nerys to make a decision between Olivia and Horacio. He's like, yo, I'm going to force you to make a decision. And I like it. And it's like, what do you mean you like it?
Why?
Like, what's wrong? Exactly. Why? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And it's like, Ed, get it together. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
How dare you?
It's so disappointing. Like, come on, get it together, Ed.
Yeah, it's disappointing for sure. Oh, geez. What about Jay's temper tantrum in the beginning of this episode?
Oh, thank God! I just
which one? He's had so many.
So, well, the beginning one when we got back to the house. Yeah, and Kylan. For some reason, Jay decided to go in on Kylan, claiming that he had laughed when Asaf went home. Jay crying about how Asaf has a wife and a kid, and what kind of person are you, Kylan, and blah blah blah. Meanwhile,
I'm not taking anything personal. I'm playing the game. I love the game. Oh,
right. Meanwhile, wasn't it Asaf who like threw in Melissa when they had that whole deal because they were both parents?
Yep.
They would have each other's back, so Asaf can just throw in a mom and get her knocked out of the game.
A mommy. I'm a dad, so
yeah, but Kylan can't laugh when someone that's been trying to get him out for weeks finally goes home. Like, and I don't know, that whole thing really pissed me off.
So stupid. So very, very stupid. And like more offensive than that to me was Jay. Listen, not me standing up for Michelle. When he was like, oh, it's me that's been keeping you safe. And Michelle was like, bitch, what? And I was like, exactly. Seriously, what are you talking about, Jay? Like the only reason you are still here even having this conversation, having this debate at all is because Michelle kept you safe. All right, like stop it. It is Michelle's relationships in this game and in this house that has kept you alive. How dare you Jay, act as if you've done anyone any favors. Like it is Michelle that is running this whole thing. It's because she drags you along. The second that Michelle says she's done with you, listen, bro, you're out of here faster than a soft left. All right. Like, let's be honest. Like, stop it now.
I just can't take the entitlement of some of these people because like this goes back to the same thing that we were talking about in Challenge USA when like Bananas had that meltdown of if you keep throwing me in, how am I supposed to get to the end? And it's like, yeah, my guy, we're not wanting you to get to the end because we're trying to win. It's like, okay, Jay, I understand you're really upset that your boy went home, but if I want to win, he can't. So what do you want me to do? Like, I'm supposed to sit here and like let all of your people get to the end because that's what you want, and I'm not allowed to send anybody home even though I'm trying to win the game too. Like, what the hell?
Seriously.
Jay, yeah, he's so stupid and annoying. It's just like he has taken so much joy in like other people like their struggles throughout the season, and now that he is like feeling the heat, it's like he's acting like the most spoiled brat I've ever seen on the show.
Because he's the king of the challenge, and you can't burn him because how dare you? It's his show. Like, shut up.
I like so badly want. See, I wish the CT had just destroyed him in the last elimination, but like that's what now I'm looking for is like a future season that has Jay on it, and he just gets absolutely embarrassed by somebody in an elimination, like first out.
Yes. I want to see him like way before the halfway point. Like before TJ is even finished explaining the rules of this season, the twists that are upcoming. I want Jay gone.
But to be fair, hasn't that been his legacy so far? Like, what leg does he have to stand on of like, I'm so great, I'm so much better. There's not my show, I'm running the house. Like, don't you always leave before the halfway mark? Like, what are you so cocky about?
Right. How dare you?
There was I think it was his first season that I liked Jay, like because he was brand new to the game. He didn't really have this attitude, or at least we didn't see it at that point. And he kept getting thrown in by the veterans. So it felt like, you know, he's the one being picked on, and he actually took out some big guys. Like he took out CT in his like one of his first eliminations he ever did. Like it was like an impressive thing to see. And it was a season where you had to go down to the elimination, earn a skull that would be then on like your helmet, and like that would be the signal that you earned your way into the final. And in that first season, Jay was out quick, but he won. Like he had like 3 skulls on his helmet before he left, you know? So like he was out very early, and it was like in that season, I remember being really like, I would love to see Jay come in and like have a chance to play without being thrown in every single time. And now that we're seeing him longer than we've ever seen him before, I literally cannot stand the man.
I hate it. I absolutely now understand why he saw the sand every single time.
Right, they're all like, get this guy out of here.
Get out of here with your stupid skulls. Yeah, he sucks.
Just awful. But I was glad to see Michelle.
He did look really good on those paddle boards, though. I was like, oh.
It was nice though to see Michelle kind of push back on him a little bit in this episode. That was nice.
Yeah, give him good.
Yeah, right. So what did you think of Dark Tide, the daily challenge that we got?
Too long.
Players, you thought it was too long, huh?
Yeah.
Like, if for me at least, if you're gonna do it in 3 heats, I think I misheard like the rules at first. I thought the last person in each heat was gonna go, not like whoever like had the longest time or whatever it was. Like I thought we were splitting up into 3 because the last person in each heat was gonna go because it's a purge. So in my head, like multiple people are getting sent out on this, you know?
Right. I was actually hoping for the same thing too, and I was like, "Oh, I guess we're only losing 1 from this." I was like, "All right, I guess I'll take."
Why are we calling that a purge?
Right, it's not a purge; it's a double at best.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll do that at any point, though. Like,
I mean, I assume that this is just the format of Conquest. Is like every elimination or like every challenge is going to have whoever loses goes home, and then also we have the elimination. Like that's what I took from it anyway.
Well, I guess at this point, we lost 2 in this one, right? We had previously lost to Saf, so that we were down to 15. We lost 2 in this one, so we're down to 13. Do we know how many people are in the final? Kyler probably knows, right? How many people are going to be competing?
I have no idea.
We
Yeah,
don't
no,
know. I don't
I
think
would.
they said.
I was under the impression that like from this point on, at least 2 people go home every episode, but I might be very wrong in that.
Yeah, but because we could be close then to the end. Like we've seen finals with you know, although this is an individual one, right? We're not. So
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be less people in the final because of that. Like I don't know. But I mean, I guess if we lose 2 people, the next couple episodes will be almost down to the single digits, right?
We don't know how many total episodes are on the season, right?
Mm-mm.
I don't.
I don't even think production knows until they take on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. I guess we'll see. Oh, Kyler
Okay.
does not know.
No one
All
knows.
right.
Well, then nobody
No
knows.
one knows.
If Kyler doesn't know,
No,
nobody
seriously.
knows.
Seriously. But so yeah, in this daily challenge, Dark Tide, our players were strapped to a speedboat, which would then drop them into the water, where they would have to swim to a paddle boat and then collect 3 rings of their corresponding color, and then get one of the rings over a pole that they had to throw it over. And whoever did this the fastest would be the winner. Whoever did it the slowest would be losing and going home immediately.
See you later.
And man, I really thought that Horacio and Kylan both won their heat. I really thought one of them was going to pull it out, but Ed won his heat and did it a little bit faster, I guess. And Ed won the whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How different this all would have gone.
Oh,
I know.
If either Kyle and Horacio won. My God, it's been so delicious.
And this is one of those things too, where it'd be nice to see the 3 times. Show us on a board somewhere. What were the 3 times? How close was it?
I do wonder though, like in a safety chain style elimination, like would it have changed that much? Because I feel like once you pick the first person, it's kind of out of your hands. Like how different really would it have been?
It is out of your hands, but it does allow those people in the middle that don't really know where they want to land, like your Colleen's and people like that. Like they could switch over because they will now see an opportunity. Like so, if Kylan wins, he's gonna choose Horacio or Nerys or something like that, right? It's gonna cascade down. Once you get down to that middle part of the pack, you know, those are the people who can maybe make a move. And if you put 3 of those people, how delicious would it be if you had like Michelle, Jay, and well, who cares who else?
Right.
I just want to see them down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it changes it completely because, like you said, if Kylan wins, he picks Horacio. Horacio picks Nerys. Nerys can pick Zara. You know what I mean? And now all your people, the 3 people that were in the elimination, are now all safe instead.
Right, because I'm getting tired of that. Like that's the same thing that we keep seeing, and then no one of that group even goes home. So it's like it's not even like, oh, you know, we can sit here and lament the loss of somebody that we liked. Like no one's even been going. It's just it's constantly the same targets, and then they don't go. It's like this sucks. Put anybody else down there that's now guaranteed to leave.
It's also like, you know, I think of these eliminations and it's like, you know, Jay acting like he's so high and mighty, who has never been in the sand this season, versus Kylan, who's gone in what, like 4 times now? It's like, what is the more impressive game? Who is the better competitor? You know?
Right. All you've demonstrated to us is that you have stronger relationships in the house. And honestly, even that's debunked because the relationships you have, you wouldn't have if it weren't for Michelle.
Right. It's like that is really what it is. He has the one relationship that's important, and it's the one that's with Michelle.
Right.
Who is also just I enjoyed her pushing back on Jay. I you know, she went up a little bit for me because of that, but like even Michelle with all the talking about being the queen bee and stuff this year and that she's gonna win, and it's annoying.
It's annoying, but I'm starting to respect her a little more.
Wow.
Starting. It's not full respect. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's just bubbling under a 2.
Bubbling.
You know, but bubbling under. Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, Ed won this daily challenge. And then I know you guys were really I'm sure had a tough time with this. The loser, the slowest time, was Raven, which means that Raven was eliminated. And I know that Gina in particular was a very big fan of Raven.
I don't think I've said a word about Kyle, Raven all season, like for better or for worse.
I know Kyle really was coming around on Raven as well. So
I have to be honest. Honestly, I was.
I've
Even
been
though I
endeared to
still,
her these last couple episodes for sure.
so have I. I still don't believe that she deserves any credit for her win over Laurel because I think that was still like complete crap. And especially the same girl who can't paddleboard is the one who beat Laurel. Just really just shows you how ridiculous that whole thing was. And I really did. I wanted to see Mariah go. Like, no offense to you, but like she's another one who really thinks like she's just golden. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm just playing this game so good. I'm just so smart. And it's like,
In this season, she's offering nothing but protection for James. Like, I haven't seen her
yes,
do anything else but talk about how she
anything.
doesn't want James to go home.
Yeah. So if she went, I would just find that very interesting, especially because she's the main reason why the good plans don't pan out. Is because Mariah's doing wrong. And it's like, when is Mariah going to realize she doesn't have the agency in this alliance that she thinks she does? Like
Mhm.
I'm kind of putting her on the same plane as Ed. It's just that she's never had any power, so it's not really been
Sure.
worth discussing. But like, Mariah, you are not in a good position in this game. Like, what can anyone say about Mariah's game that is even noteworthy other than the fact that you were in a Delulu relationship with Bananas?
Not Delulu.
Delulu. Delulu.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, she's like, what has Mariah done other than follow the herd? She's just another face in the crowd.
I do think she's okay
body.
for. I think she's okay for a bit though. At this point, because I feel
For
like
a bit, but like, when are you going to start planning for the end? And that's what these people are not doing. Like, eventually you have to realize that this main alliance that you're supporting, that you're making these, you're voting for, you're making larger moves for, you're building your whole game around, they're not doing the same for you. When you're in hot water, you're going to be out. Like, once we get rid of Ed and Colleen, you're the next female.
right.
Nerys has a road back, right? Because Nerys has a different personal relationship with some of them. Mariah, you don't. And you're not in power at any point for anyone to like maybe try to protect you. Like, oh, she might win. She hasn't, she won't. So what are you doing? Like, what about this is good for you at this stage? You got to flip this because, like you said, the numbers are really in their favor to flip this around. And she could actually be at least higher seated in that different alliance than she is where she is now.
I do feel like she's not in like the worst spot though, honestly, because I feel like she's made herself like a pretty small target, whereas like Horacio, Kyla, and Nerys are going to be gunning for Jay, Michelle, people on that side, Emmanuel, let's say, something like that, and then like I feel like Mariah still has like this shield of James, where like he's another number that can go before her. Like, I feel like, and like, because of how the game has broken down now, like Mariah has become even more valuable for Jay and Michelle because people like Nerys and Olivia had flipped over to the other side and are working against Jay and Michelle now. So I feel like Olivia has really kind of put herself right in the middle where she's like, she's like vital now to Jay and Michelle's game because they're losing numbers, and Horacio and Kylan and them aren't even going to be thinking about Mariah until people like Jay and Michelle are out of there. So I feel like she's actually in like a decent spot right now, to be honest.
I hear what you're saying. I don't completely disagree, but because of now the way that this voting like selection is kind of going down, if we're going to continue with this safety chain thing, if a Kyland or Horacio wins and we get down to those lower numbers, I think there are less people who are going to say Mariah than the people who are going to say Jay, Michelle, or some other people. I think that's where she might find some troubles.
Yeah. No, yeah, it could definitely go. Either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how safe she is. It'll really depend. And again, we don't really know enough about what other people are thinking and what their perception of their relationships are, really outside of the Michelle J situation. But I could definitely see Mariah in some hot water because no one's going to make a tough decision in favor of Mariah. She's definitely going to lose that because she's never in a power position that I would feel like that's something I need to protect or something I need to keep close.
Right.
So your worth is like literally dropping daily.
Yeah.
And I would also even challenge that further to say, like, how much is Mariah worth without the extra vote that is James?
It's fair. That's definitely fair. Yeah, that's a big
So,
part of it, I'm sure.
yeah,
Um,
it's be
but
interesting.
we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah. So I mean, we are now calling it the selection now that we're not really doing a nomination. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, this whole thing it was kind of boring, honestly, because I felt like I knew that Ed. Like I think it could be exciting in the future, but I felt like I knew ahead of time exactly how this was going to play out. So,
Mhm.
Right.
Maurice and Zara they tried, but Ed would not go along with their plan. So he decided to stick with Jay and Michelle's plan to set everything up in a way where Nerys would have to be the one to choose between, you know, Horacio, Kyland, Olivia, Zara to potentially have to go to elimination. Or no, to go to elimination because all three of them, whoever it was, they would be going. And she chose to save Olivia. Um, were you surprised at all by it?
No, because Horacio was like, "Do not save me." You know, like had that not happened, I think it would have been surprising. But like, it's just such a shitty position to put her in. Like, I don't know what the right choice even is in that moment.
Right. It's a shitty situation to be placed in, but I guess I was. I mean, aside from Horacio saying, "Don't put me in," like, unless I just missed it. Like, what is this Nerys and Olivia best friendship? Like, what? Like that felt like new to me. Like,
I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like we only haven't seen it because they've been kind of rocky this season. But when they first came into the season, it was like, oh, we're the girls from the previous season that are like close and we're like whatever. Like they acted as though like off camera they were very close, and like that's why this whole rift between them is so painful. You know what I mean? Or like why she was
Yeah.
so hurt to hear that like whatever Olivia was supposedly saying that everybody knows back at home and can tell Nerys about, like why that hurt her so badly.
I guess. I was still very surprised by this. I was like, whatever. Where is this friendship coming from? Because I almost thought there was some weird friction at one point because of Horacio. Like this one didn't know where they fit in. Like what's happening with this? What's happening with this? All of
Mhm.
a sudden, like we're best friends, and like we, oh, I don't know who to pick here. And it's like I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing. I just feel like we're kind of like all over the place. Like, hmm.
Yeah.
I've been very confused with the relationship between Olivia and Nerys. I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, well, it seems like they were besties and they're not anymore. So
Except that
from
they kind of still are besties though, because she did choose to save her in this
well, I
scene.
just
But
I just
also,
mean
like, when
based
we see,
on
like,
what we're
I'm
seeing
still
on Twitter
confused.
now.
But I don't know though. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like based on what we're seeing, like off camera, like there's still a lot of tension there. And like from what I was seeing of people posting, like I don't know if it was based on Olivia's Instagram story or whatever it was. Like I'm very interested to see what happens when we get the reunion because apparently she came in and freaking rose hell. Like didn't even like hang out with anybody. Like when they were all going out to bars or whatever, she like hung out in her hotel room, showed up to the reunion, and then pieced out. So like, what is happening that we're not seeing?
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm very I haven't really been as into like the more recent reunions we've
Oh,
gotten and
I
stuff.
have never watched a singular reunion.
But yeah, but
But I'm
this
gonna
is a
watch this one.
reunion. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching this one. I also I wonder like if there's going to be something else that we're going to see on this season,
I feel
because
like there
like
must be for there to still be tension between them. Like, but it looked like we just saw them
right.
reconciling. So like what else happened?
Right, and that's why I'm like wondering, like, will it be on the season that we get to see it, or like, could it have been something that happened after filming ended or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like something like in their personal lives that happened? But I'd be very curious to see about everything with the, with the reunion, what happens. So
Hmm.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Um, Natalie also wanted to ask if we could speak about Jay blaming Nerys. Because this really did piss me off too. I like, Nerys has been going through it. I feel like in some of these episodes, getting blamed for so many
Yeah.
things, and like this vote came down. It was a tie vote. Nerys was only one of the votes that was cast, and for some reason, Asaf going home was being like completely blamed on her by Jay. And it made no sense to me because Jay was certainly capable of also changing his vote if he didn't want it to be a stalemate.
And so were all the other people that kept
Yeah.
their vote the same. Like, why is it only Nerys? That's the problem.
Right. And even if you're pissed that she didn't change her vote, you want to stick with that. She didn't tell CT to pick Asaf out of everybody that he had a choice of
How is it
choosing.
her fault?
So yeah, so like, go to hell. Go to hell, Jay.
Like, because even if there wasn't a stalemate, like there was still like a chance that that thing gets pulled and he picks us off anyway. Like it's not like that was never an option unless there was a stalemate, and Nerys is the reason why he went home, because there was no other possibility that he ever would have. Like there was still a chance that would have happened no matter what.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Jay is like a giant child.
Oh God,
the worst. Yeah, absolutely.
I know. Like I was just gonna say that if there's two people from this cast that I never want to see again on the show, it's Asaf and Jay. But then I realized that earlier in this stream, I said that I wanted to see Jay back just for the purpose of getting his ass kicked. So like, if he wants to come back one more time and be the first boot, like I'd be okay with that. Asaf, definitely.
I'm only fine with you coming back if you're going to be absolutely humiliated. If it's not that, and if it's you making it past the halfway mark, then no.
Miss me.
I'm
Miss
not.
me with that.
Exactly. Not interested.
Not interested at all. At all.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Count me as absent.
Absent.
Zara was also really upset about James not saving her. I wasn't surprised that he didn't, honestly. But yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't surprised that he didn't either. And like they're making it look like James is just like, Mariah's lapdog and everything like that. But I do feel like James is in a tough spot, because if you don't go with Mariah, then you are 110% on the other side. Like I don't see there being any coming back to going against what Mariah says you should do. So it's almost like because of their personal relationship, you're a little stuck.
Yeah.
It's also like, I don't know that he would necessarily be 100% loyal to Mariah, but like, because Mariah is so loyal to him, and she's really like, from how it looks, the only person that's 100% loyal to him, like it would be stupid to cross her in that moment,
Yeah, I think that Zara might have worked with him though, and not because they have a personal connection that's as strong as what Mariah and James have, but I think that Zara is smart enough to understand that, like, hey, I need to kind of squat up with you because there's what UK people are left.
Right.
From a game point of view, that it behooves me to kind of move with you.
Yeah, I mean, James absolutely chose Mariah over Zara there in that moment. So I understood why she was pissed, but I wasn't surprised by it. But all right, what did we think of this 3-person elimination? We had Zara, Horacio, and Kyland. Didn't want to see any of them going into elimination. So to see them all going in against each other really sucked. And it was a 3-person race. There were basically 3 obstacles. I think one had a balance beam, one had like the netting that you have to climb under, like military crawl, and then the other one was a huge wall that you had to scale and get over. And then there were 3 puzzles on the other side of those obstacles. One was like a puzzle you had to just move the colors all around, get them into neat rows. One was the word. You had to come up with 6 words, 3-letter words. I think for parts of the body it was. And then like a Sudoku puzzle, right?
I saw Sudoku. I was like, no, please.
Yeah.
I would just walk away.
Like, I can't do this again.
Sorry. Get on the plane. I'm out of here. I don't get Sudoku at all.
But also, like, I have PTSD from USA 1. It's like, I don't want to see no more Sudoku puzzles on the challenge. Enough. I can't. No more. We're done.
Yeah.
And yeah, this. What did you think of this elimination? Did you like it?
It wasn't super fun to watch. I thought it was fun that we had a daytime elimination. I thought it was fun that we don't have the people cheering on the sides, kind of helping things along. Like that was an interesting dynamic. It's a very quiet elimination, I felt. But other than that,
yeah,
I don't think it's fun to watch.
You like the private elimination? Do you like would that be something that you'd like to see, like, for every elimination?
No.
Okay. But I guess it looks like that's how it's going to be for the rest of this season anyway, right?
Yeah, no, it's a fun twist, but do I want that every elimination? No. I still want elimination to feel like a challenged elimination, people cheering on the sides. Whether it's fair or not, I do like the discourse that it presents. And that feels like a challenge elimination to me, people cheering on the side.
Yeah. Would you like this better? Yeah. Would you like this better as a, it's a 3-person elimination. So would you prefer if only the winner stayed and the 2 losers went home? Or do you like that it's just the one person that comes in
I
third
kept going
place?
back and forth with how I felt about that. I can't decide.
Yeah.
In any other situation, I would like for 2 to go home. But because of this 3, it pains me greatly to say that.
Right.
Because I didn't want any of them to go.
Right,
So,
right.
I'd be damned to like co-sign on 2 leaving.
Yeah,
exactly. But like in theory, yes, I think that's a fun thing.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't mind if it like switched up. Like sometimes you lose 2, sometimes you lose 1.
I would like that if you disclosed it to us ahead of time. I don't want you to make me believe that, like, production kind of like got me on this one. And maybe the production was like, oh, we really want these people to go. So you're kind of like forcing some things. I don't like when I can suspect manipulation. So if you told me like, oh, I don't know, at the very beginning of the season, it's different with the challenge because it's pre-recorded. I say this a lot with Big Brother. Like, tell me when Pandora's box is coming. It's coming week 7. I am behind it.
Yeah, you don't like production having the ability to gotcha. And like
No, because usually production's gotchas are a move against me. I'm never happy that they got me. It's always me that got caught. And I don't want that. It's never like, woo, the person I can't stand left. Is like, no, you fucked me. If you disclose that to me ahead of time, then I don't think that you moved against me. I always feel like it's like Kyle v. Production.
Oh my God.
Kyle v. Production.
I just like the
Oh my God.
Put up your dukes.
Wow.
Oh man. That's great. That is great.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this elimination was interesting. We obviously saw Horacio win the whole thing. Kylan came in second. So sadly, Zara was eliminated from the game. So very sad to see Zara go. And this was a rough episode for me between Raven and Zara. I took a couple of hits in this one.
Bad day to beat.
Yeah.
Except that it's because he still has the most. So
no, I'm actually
we're tied now.
Yeah, I'm tied with Gina now.
Oh,
Gina's lost 3. I've lost 3.
But only by 1, right? Or 2?
By 2.
By 2. Which honestly, not terrible.
Yeah. Kyle's lost 5. Gina and I have lost 3. I will say you've probably gone the longest without losing anybody now.
Well, yeah, because all of Kyle's, he lost one after the other, and then it became you and me. So,
and also because Kylan said, enough of the bullshit. I'm not going anywhere. You keep putting me down here. I'm going to keep coming back.
Right.
Because Kylan is a warrior. All right. Our king.
Honestly, it's like this whole season has been kind of weird, too, because so I lost Zara and Raven this week, Asaf last week, but then before that, we had 4 straight weeks where we didn't lose anybody. So we had 6 weeks in a row. Where,
don't remind me.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Terrible.
So, yeah. But all right, the next on didn't really look very clear at all. It just looked like there was going to be a lot of craziness going on, a lot of people yelling at each other, some people crying. So yeah, hopefully it's entertaining to watch their misery, but yeah, anything else for this episode 15 of the Challenge 39? Welcome to Conquest
15. Jeez.
It both feels like episode 5 and episode 500.
Yeah, we've had more episodes than we have evicted people.
Yeah,
evictees.
Yes, you are you're right about that. You're actually, that's not even an exaggeration because we started with 24 people. We have 13, so we've lost 11 people, and we've had 15 episodes.
So we went a month with no exits, and that's after having a double this week.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you know, it was fun, I will say, because I feel like normally they always say TJ, whenever TJ shows up at the house, it's bad news. There's something bad's happening. So it was fun to see him coming into the house, even though like I knew like no fights had happened or anything. So usually that's fun, you know, to see, oh, are they going to get kicked out? Are they just going to get a warning this time? What's going to happen? So yeah, it's always fun to see TJ at the house. But all right, I think that's it, right? Anything else for the challenge?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
I'm satisfied. I feel satisfied.
All right. Excellent. Well, what do we have coming up? We tonight, in just about an hour and a half, about 10:15 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be discussing the newest episode of The Traitors US Season 2, which could be up right now for all we know. I think it was up early last week. So.
It was last week, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what we have coming up the rest of this night. And then will we be back on Monday? For Australian Survivor?
Listen, I didn't say this in the group chat because we were all very quiet this week. I think everybody had rough weeks. But like I would like to propose a cracked chat on Saturday at midnight. I really want to do a draft because if we don't do it by Monday, I'm not interested. All right, because that means you saw things, you know stuff. No. So like I would like to draft and do our preseason chatter as we like to do. But I like to plant that seed. Why don't you go watch The Traitors? And then our friends here can join us for the Traitors chat, and then we can give you our answer. How does that sound? Let it marinate, soak it in.
Sure.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So we'll figure that out. And of course, we'll be back next Thursday again with more challenge coverage and more Traitors US Season 2 coverage. So, all right. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're out there on all of the social media platforms. So go look for us. Throw us a like, a comment, a subscription. Leave us a nice review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It's super helpful, and we would really, really, really appreciate it. All right. Go watch The Traitors and come back and hang out with us in an hour and a half. Okay, bye. Lido, 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 Lido.